Welcome to another edition of Vigorously with me, Val Kleinhands. Very special episode today because we have drummer and owner of two of the cutest cats on the planet in the building. Alexa Ray is here. Woo! I'm thrilled to
Hi,
have you. Hello, how are the kitties?
they're good. Do you want them? Should I give them a cameo for a second?
You can if you want, or if they want to make an appearance on their own time, that's fine.
Yeah, I see one in
However,
the kitchen.
okay, yeah, they're chill. See,
I
that's
know,
cats. That's cats. They do what they want.
that's
They
true.
No, they're adorable. I love it because one Winnie, I think, is the one that kind of looks like mine. It says, but mine's Pantera and she's black because I like the band. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool
no,
name.
I know they're adorable. I love seeing them all over Instagram. You are coming to me fresh off of NAMM, which is a huge, giant convention for the National Association of Music Merchants. If anybody doesn't know, your vlog did give us a little taste, but I gotta know, how was it?
Oh, it was fun. So basically, it was bigger than last year. So
Oh.
2020 was really big, and then it's shut down because of COVID after that. And then it was smaller, now it's back to normal. Except yeah, so Gibson finally made a return, and that it got really big, and like people it was like I saw people that I couldn't even say hi to because it was just so overwhelmingly big.
So many
Uh
people. That many people.
yeah, so many people, and I was just like, they look busy, like I look busy. I don't want to, it's just like, and for me, like, it's really it's for most people, it's really overstimulating. Um, and I went for 2 days, and that was enough. Just
Mhm.
because it's just a lot. And then I met with a lot of people I haven't met before, and then caught up with people. Um, it was really cool though.
Yeah, you're in a nice location because essentially that's local to you. So you could
Yeah,
kind of come and go as you please, which made it easier.
yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, I live in Orange County, so it's like 30 minutes away, and yeah, a lot of people were just coming. They had to get a hotel, and yeah, it was packed.
I feel you on that whole thing being overstimulating though, because to me, if I'm in a room of more than, let's say, like 5 or 10 people, I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. Why am I here? What am I doing with all these people? What are they thinking? What are we supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be entertaining them? Am I supposed to just be listening? Like, there's so many weird thoughts that go through your head as an introvert. Like, people forget that content creators are introverts sometimes.
Oh yeah, I'm an introvert,
Yeah.
but then I like will vibe really well with people that like the same things as me, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah, like the people like my friends, like we're weird introverts, we're like nerdy. And then like we're just then we have to go home and then recharge our social battery
Yeah.
because
No, you did. You made it a point to mention that, and I appreciated you being real about that. Like, you're like, I need a coffee and a tea break in the middle of NAM. Like,
I
I need.
do.
So, what is the perfect Alexa? I need to recharge my battery break. Is it just coffee and tea, or is it a variation of things?
Just sitting, kind of like just being alone, just like getting a coffee or tea. Like I had tea though,
Mhm.
but I didn't like I liked their tea option, so I just had like a green tea. So I was just like, yeah, I need to like kind of just self self charge a little bit.
Mhm.
And it was funny. So I got like a media badge because if you're a content creator, you get a purple media badge. So there was a media and content creator lounge. So I
Cool.
went to the media lounge, and then people were just like editing their podcasts or whatever. I don't know. They were just like editing their videos or whatever in the media lounge, and they had coffee and tea. I'm like, dang, I feel so like it's like so exclusive. And they had people like guarding, like you can't. They had people gatekeeping who can come in, and it was really funny. So I was like, yeah, I get to just be here myself.
That's fine. I mean, nobody bothered
I
you
don't care.
anyway. It's kind of nice. They kept the peace. So you went, were you going to NAMM to film content? Or, I mean, you're also a musician. I'm sure you looked at the goods while you were there too, that they were selling.
Yeah, like it was everything, like film content, look at make connections, make then look at the gear, like talk to
Hmm.
representatives of collabs, just tell them who I am, just make friends, meet people, attend
Yeah.
workshops. Sometimes I attend workshops and then just network and then like I don't know, sometimes there's really cool giveaways and that's awesome. Have you been to NAMM? I know you live far.
No, but yeah, I know I live in the freaking boonies. But like I would love to go just to do what you're talking about, to make those connections and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm a podcaster and I want to get the word out about awesome music, and that's a big part of what we do on the show. And I would love to make those types of connections, whether it's with PR or just personal one-on-one, hey, I like your band, let's do this. But it's hard for me because I don't, it's hard, I know it's weird to say this, but like it's hard for me to do that initial reach out because I have a hard time assessing when the appropriate situation is. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I tend to prefer online interactions, because it's like I could throw something out there and then I'll let the other person decide what they want to do as far as receiving it. Like they could take their time opening it, whatever, whatever. But when you're in person, it's like, do I have to? What if they're talking to somebody else? Is it interrupting if I just go over there and introduce myself, even if they're talking to somebody else? It's a lot, but you go there and you make connections and you have seemed to power through. How do you do
Yeah.
that?
Um, yeah, I'm just like a pretty approachable, friendly person. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
I used to be really hard for me, but then like I don't know, over time, just I don't know, a lot of people come up to me or they just I don't know, just online presence helped. It's
Yeah.
easier online presence helping because like I made a lot of friends from the internet. Just yeah, a lot of internet friends. Um, just like because they like we follow each other because we like
Hmm.
I don't know, we have a lot of stuff in common and we just want to like make meet new people around the world and connect with each other. And then it was cool just like and then we meet in person because like people go to NAMM to like um meet with their brand or just like I don't know meet others in the industry world around the world and I don't know I don't know I'm pretty good at it but like it's just hard to like do that nonstop for like hours
Yeah.
2 days in a row like it's okay if it's like a few hours but then like it gets really exhausting because you have to like it's really big and you have to walk you have to walk a lot there because it's all spread out because it's like a
Mm.
giant. The main building's giant, and then there's another building with just the audio equipment, and then there's like another there's even another building, and then there's the hotels too with like it's just so much that go happens. It's
Yeah.
impossible to see everything. It's just impossible. So but I still had a great time. Just stick with good people. Just yeah. I
Yeah.
did it. It was fun.
Yeah, I love it. I think I know who some of those good people were because I did see the Musician Mansion reunion. That is
Yeah.
truly, that's truly what introduced me to you, was the
Oh,
series on YouTube. That's really what I was like, who is this? Like in the most respectful, loving way, I was like, who is this Avril Lavigne 2.0 that is beating the shit out of these drums? I need to I was like, I need to find out who this is. And ta-da, thank you, Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's Alexa. And then, but it was all thanks to Musician Mansion. And I would love to hear about that whole experience. I mean, how was it seeing them again?
okay. So, do you want me to answer how it was being on Musician Mansion?
All the above. Go ahead.
Okay, so okay, so um Musician Mansion was really fun. But I did actually watch season 1 before I even was invited to be on season 2.
Me too.
Yeah, so I saw season 1 because I knew people, the other musician content creators on the show, so I watched it and I was following Jared Dines for a while, like for years. It and then the concept seemed really cool and interesting. So I watched season one because I have friends that were on it. And I thought it was really cool. But the thing is, there was only like two music challenges, and the rest were just kind of like, you know,
Hmm.
gross food, comedy
Yeah.
roast, fight in
Right.
a like the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it wasn't even mute, and then the roast stand up
Yeah.
comp. Yeah,
That
the
was actually pretty
roast.
funny.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
funny.
funny, but like, yeah, like I don't know, the gross food challenge would have just like
I wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't
Mm-mm.
have done it,
Mm-mm.
and then when I got asked to be on season two, so Jared followed me on Instagram and I was like, does this mean does it mean there's gonna be Musician Mansion too? Because like
Oh, that was your
I know I
clue.
had a
Okay.
feeling, yeah, I had a feeling. So he followed me. I'm like, wait, does he follow me? Is Musician Mansion 2 a thing? And he's like, then that's the thing. And then he messaged me. He's like, hey, Alexa, do you want to be on Musician Mansion 2? We need a drummer ASAP. And if you need to back out, let me know ASAP because it's like you got to find someone immediately because there has to be 15 musicians. But
Okay.
Greystone returned, so he had to find like 10 people. So yeah, he told me that Paula suggested me because she found my videos on her explore page.
Oh,
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah.
okay. So how,
And I
so
yeah.
when, so you walk in, do you know just about everybody there? And is it,
Um
or did you,
I
was it new faces?
So yeah, it was both. So there was a group chat on Instagram. So we have a group chat called Musician Mansion 2. And yeah, so I knew Greystone, but I didn't know him personally. But like I knew Nick and Paula mostly just from watching,
Yeah.
you know, Instagram and YouTube because they're like the bigger content creators. And then I knew Greystone because they were in season one. And then I actually knew a few of the cast members on my team. Well, I did know Jimena because we did meet at the NAMM show in 2022 and 2023. So
Oh,
we
okay.
met, and she lives in Los Angeles too. So and then I also met Chenna before Musician Mansion. We both met at NAMM. We actually did an interview with it was JBL and AKG. They had like a section. We had an interview with content creators, so we
Hmm.
met there actually. So they were actually I knew them, and then I did know Ricky Thrash because I toured with this band and we played in Atlanta, and then the guitarist in that band I was touring with was friends with Ricky, and so Ricky came to the show. And then they're like, yeah, this guy, Ricky Thrash, was the bassist in Steel Panther. I'm like, okay, I know that band.
Yeah.
Aren't they like
Okay.
older? Aren't they like my parents' age? Like, and then Ricky's my age, and I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm not in the band anymore." I'm like, "Okay, that's probably a good thing."
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just kind of a good thing, cause like, yeah, I don't
I
know.
I think it is. I mean, we shout out to Ricky. We love Ricky, but I think it
Yeah,
is because he is a force unto himself. Like we all know this. Like
yeah,
the vibe is there. It's like he just does his own thing. And for me, I spent probably the first two episodes wondering if his hair was real, and then I saw like got a closer look at the curls, and I was like, yeah, no, that's real. That's
yeah.
actually his hair.
Yeah. So I knew him. Um, and then yeah, so I know Ricky, and then I did see Casey, also known as Pink Noise.
Hmm.
So I found Casey's videos scrolling on my feed on Instagram, just like, on Reels. I saw Casey singing and screaming, and I was really impressed. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, and then it like clicked that they were gonna be on Musician Mansion. They were in my band, and that was like so random.
Were
We
you
like drew,
secretly
yeah.
hoping that they would be in your band?
Yeah, because I thought Casey was really good, and I didn't know that I didn't know anyone else really, but then I did message others. I did follow everyone, in the chat, and I like messaged them and stuff, and everyone was pretty nice and really talented. So it was fun. So
Yeah, good. Well, for anybody listening that doesn't quite know how Musician Mansion works, the bands are chosen at random. And it's the musicians that are doing what they do, and they do it best, and they're competing for a prize. And the prize this past time for your season was to play live and to win some money. At like you were playing live at an iconic venue close to you. Really.
yeah.
That was it. And I liked that concept. I feel like it upped the ante just a little bit. What was your favorite part of the Musician Mansion experience that maybe wasn't shown?
Just like being silly. Like a lot of it was not shown. Just
Mhm.
being silly. I don't know. We had really funny times. Like I was teaching Casey how to tap dance.
Ah,
Like that
yes.
was so funny. And then what was another thing that was really funny? Just everyone, we were all at the it sucked because everyone on the last day we were just like all hanging out really late, and that's when we all started to like meet each other and bond because it was all like
Oh,
work because it was challenge after challenge after challenge. There was no break really, and it was a lot of work.
that's
But it
oh see,
was
yeah, as fans, we don't see that part of it because
no.
the way that well the way and I'm assuming it's shared that like edits all this, the way that it's edited makes it seem like you are having fun between challenges or you're rehearsing between challenges and you're saying, "Oh no. There's so much more prep work
There was a
before."
lot of prep work. It was like Um, we did have fun though, but it was like a lot of it was just we had to limit it because we wanted to win each challenge and sound as best as we can. And
Yeah.
well with that you have to like really practice a lot, like Soulfire practice
Yes.
nonstop. They were
Yeah.
practicing. Yeah. And our ways, so the way how every band works is a bit different. So Casey and David are like bedroom musician. Well, David's a bedroom musician, and what
Mm.
David does all day is programs drums, just sits in his room recording guitar licks, and that's how he writes music. And that I brought my laptop because like I don't know, like what if I want to like record stuff, and
Yeah.
that's what we did. We recorded like drum parts and guitar parts to put it on loop so you can remember the song more easily rather than just like having to go over and over again. So what we did was
Yeah.
just make really quick, easy demos, and it really like they didn't even have to sound good, just as long as you can hear what they're doing. So that's how we learned it. We like used my laptop. So my laptop was what came in clutch because that's how I learned. That's how David learns. That's how Casey writes. And
Yes.
Casey and David were the really good, strongest songwriters. I don't really know how to write lyrics. I don't, since I mean, yeah, drums are really important. Like adding a certain drum part really makes a difference with the song, but I don't know, like, I don't have chords. I don't have notes. That's the
Right, I
thing.
get it.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's hard. Unless if I had a piano in front of me, then I could probably pitch in, but like, I don't, there wasn't pianos.
Do you play
Piano
piano too?
plays. Yeah, so I do, but that was my first instrument.
Oh, okay. So were you the little kid that was saying, "Mom, Dad, I want to take music lessons," or how did that start? How did your musical what's your musical origin story, I guess is the better question.
That's a good question. Well, I was yeah, so I my parents got divorced, and then when my mom remarried to my stepdad, we moved in a house with a piano. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was, yeah, it was a really old piano that was like passed on, super out of tuned. But I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to play piano, and I thought it was really fun. But I was self-teaching like on YouTube when very, very early YouTube. So like there
Hmm.
was piano tutorials, but it was really hard because a lot of piano you have to learn how to read music, and reading music's hard to teach on your own. So it wasn't until high school where I like took music theory classes and I just took band class.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do percussion section because I kind of knew how to read music. So I knew how to read in treble clef, but in piano it's treble and bass clef. So your treble is your right hand and your bass clef's your left hand. So but we had mallet percussion, so they threw me on that. But then I learned how to do auxiliary percussion, and then um I then they threw on rudiments, which is like, paradiddles, drumline stuff. So you get a practice pad or you play this all in a snare drum. So I had to learn how to do rolls, 5-stroke rolls,
Yes.
flams, all the basic drum line, beginning percussionist stuff. And then, but yeah, because if you're a percussionist, then you have to know everything: mallets,
Hmm.
timpani, snare drum, auxiliary, bass drum, crash cymbals. So they threw me on that because most of the people have been playing in bands since they were in middle school. And for some reason, other school districts, they start band in 5th grade, and then our district started in 7th grade. So,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, some districts are funded more than others, or like, and I don't know. I just never signed up for piano lessons until I was in high school because like really wanted private lessons to make it easier for me. But it was just
Mm.
expensive because I was already committed to being a dancer. I was actually a dancer before mu being a musician, but so it helped.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so I did tap dancing, ballet, and jazz and lyrical. So I did all those. So it helped me because music and dance go hand in hand. You got to be dancing on rhythm, and then
Hmm.
yeah. So it did help for sure.
I love that. And so you've always been a creative person, is what I just heard.
Yeah,
Really, your entire life.
yeah, I really like dancing, but I liked drumming more, so I
Yeah.
decided to stick with drumming because it's too much and it's expensive to do both, you know?
Yes. No, it's true. Listen, I took music lessons when I was younger too. I did guitar, and I mean, I still play once in a while here and there. But yeah, when I was younger, it was like you had to make a choice, either that or this other activity. Like it just was because they were all an expense, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I don't regret it. Honestly, that kind of led me into metal. Like I know you're a metalhead too. What is that? Did you get into metal at about the same age? Because I remember I was like a preteen when I started.
Yeah,
It was Korn, it was Slipknot, like all of that was coming out at that time and I was like, I love this. This is changing the way that I think about music and my musical taste. I mean, we went from Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls to Korn in like the
yeah,
span of like 2 years,
I
which is
know.
which is great, and I still listen to all of it today. Like, period. Good Charlotte was on this morning. Like, let's come correct on that. But I worked backwards. It was like I started with Korn and Slipknot, and then I worked backward toward like the Iron Maiden, the Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses, the Mötley Crüe, the Aerosmith.
Oh,
It was I don't know
yes.
why it just it that's how it kind of sort of ended up for me. How did you get into metal?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So my cousins were Slipknot for Halloween. They were Slipknot
Oh,
members. I was
yep.
young. And then my dad listened to Slipknot too on Sirius
Hmm.
XM.
Hmm.
And I remember the first song I heard was Before I Forget. So I was still in elementary school, so I was young. And then my mom did not like metal music.
Mm.
She does not
Mine
like the
either.
screaming. Yeah.
I still get yelled at. I'm like, isn't it just a phase? No, I'm 35. No,
No.
it's not like it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, my mom, so she like my dad liked metal. So like I and then my friends started to get into it. So we had like on demand and pay-per-view music videos we would buy and see. This was before like YouTube was like had Vivo. So we just
Right.
like look at the music videos on and I really liked watching the Flyleaf music videos and then the Avenged Sevenfold Afterlife music video. Like it was
Hmm.
just and I thought it was really cool and that's how I discovered music just from on demand. Like I don't know if you do you know what that was?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so we had on demand. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
We had it
discovered.
all. Woo! Like baby, I saw CDs. I saw CDs
Yeah,
I saw CDs to LimeWire to like the streaming that we have today. Like it is
we did.
amazing how much how we it's amazing in that how we listen to music has changed
I
over a
remember
very short
like
amount of time.
I got a Napster
Oh yeah.
subscription when I was like I got a Walkman and then my
Yep.
dad gave me a
Yep.
Napster subscription and then my mom's like, "Isn't that illegal? Just buy CDs and burn them to iTunes and then just I don't know, we would burn the CDs.
Oh yeah, I
Uh
did.
yeah, we
All
would
that.
just burn them."
Make him for your crush. I married mine after making a
Yeah.
mixtape.
With a mixtape.
Yo,
Yes.
yeah, it works. It did. It was like a little secret love language, and I love doing that. Like that was one of the best things.
So
So,
true.
what have you been listening to lately?
Um, a lot. Like, that's a good question. It's just like I don't know. I just have a bunch of music saved. Um,
I know,
and
me
then I press
too.
shuffle. Yeah, and I just press shuffle. It's I've been getting back into Britney Spears.
Yes,
Britney Spears was like the first, one of the first artists I listened to when I was young.
period. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was really pop. Like when I was really young, she was really popular. She was like at her peak, you know.
Yes,
So I started,
absolutely.
yeah, reliving it. Just been listening to Britney, and then Slipknot, and my friends showed me Gojira.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm getting into Gojira like
Obsessed.
a little bit.
Obsessed. What? So did the Olympics kick that off for you? Is that what piqued your interest in Gojira?
No, well, I remember yeah, I remember seeing that they're like French metal band Gojira
Hmm.
is playing, and they were like heavily trending. But then my friends like one of the biggest Gojira fans, so and then a lot of my other friends are Gojira fans, so
Okay.
I've just been trying to get into it, and
You
it's
were well aware
different.
before.
Yeah, like I know, I knew who they were, but like I just never listened to their stuff. Yeah, I knew the
Yeah.
name. It was a big name, but I just never listened to their music. So like, but my friend showed me them, and yeah, the whale one.
Flying whales. We love
Yeah,
flying
flying
whales.
whale one.
No, we love it. I got used to them because somehow, and looking back, I see why, because it's sort of the progressive theme here. But they would always be put on tours with like Opeth or Mastodon, bands like that, bands that I'm very much into. So I kind of like got into them by default because I would be forced, quote unquote, to see them live, and then I go, I don't hate this. Let me investigate that later. And then, oh, let me buy a ticket to see them headline. Like that kind of
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
why not? I freaking loved it. When it comes to touring and all you're in a couple different projects, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, in addition
Yeah,
to your own stuff.
yeah. Like, I mean, I am in a couple. A lot of times it's like if I'm gigging, um, a lot of it. So recently, it's been like I did play drums for this artist, this
Hmm.
solo. A lot of it has been like solo artists, and then like cover bands, and
Yeah.
then Pinktastic Plastics. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so Pinktastic Plastics, and then I mean, Eris was a creation from Musician Mansion.
Yeah.
You'll hear our music out shortly. We
I was
just
gonna
haven't.
ask.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Everyone asks because like they really liked our sound, and I'm like, yeah, it was. We did write some pretty good songs. I'm
You
not gonna
did.
lie.
No, my favorite thing that you guys did, and I know that this was very much a challenge. It would be a challenge, I think, for any musician, was the
Yeah.
way that you worked respect into a song that worked for all of you, pun intended.
Hmm.
Like you didn't just try to make it a carbon copy. You very
Yeah.
simply did what a professional does and molded that song into what your strengths were as musicians. That was my favorite thing that you all did all season, for sure.
Yeah. It was a great one. Yeah, I really liked how it came along, and we thought the cover would be the easiest challenge, but it wasn't.
I
It
know. So
wasn't.
if you got to choose, because I know it was sort of a random selection for that process. If nobody's seen the show, which if you're listening to this, I don't know, go watch, please. But
Yeah.
like, the way that it worked was it was randomly selected your cover song challenge, and you didn't know what you were gonna get. It was just
Yeah.
pulling a song out of a hat. If you had to choose, what would you have chosen?
I think so. It was Back in Black, Stricken,
Mhm.
and
Or
then
something, or anything. Like
oh
if you had total control over that situation, what would you have chosen?
like case. It's kind of like case. It was mainly I realized we kind of succeeded whatever our singer was capable with.
Ah,
Um,
got it. Okay.
so probably a Linkin Park song, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Casey can do
Uh,
that. Absolutely.
yeah, you seen Casey on yeah, doing Chester
Hmm.
Bennington Scream. Have you seen those videos?
Yes, Casey can do
Holding
it.
holding the screams really loud, like long,
Yes.
yeah. But
Yes.
their voice was just blown out. Everyone's
Hmm.
voice was blown out towards the end because of how much work we all had to do.
Right.
Just singing. So they really had to preserve their voice for the final show. So when we
Yeah.
were okay, like I didn't upload my last parts of the vlogs, but we rented out so when they knocked over everything, they like they had to pack up all the gear, the drum sets. Like there was actually a practice studio 20 minutes away, and we got kind of sick of we needed an environment change to rehearse in.
Oh, okay.
Besides, yeah,
No,
we
no, it
needed
makes
it so
sense.
bad. So we all just went to a practice studio, like one of those rehearsal studios you run out. And that made a difference, but Casey was just like, I cannot sing anymore. I'm gonna lose my voice.
Yeah.
So everyone's voice was really just and then I was talking so I met with Lauren and she was in season 1 and
Hmm.
she was just like, yeah, my voice would have been gone if I was Musician
Oh,
Mansion. If she was on Musician Mansion too, her voice would have been gone. That's what
yeah.
she was telling me. I'm like, yeah, I
Makes
don't know.
sense.
Yeah,
But
because
what you were
about
saying, back to back to back to back to back challenges, there's almost no room to relax your instrument.
no,
And in Casey's case, that's the voice. Like,
right. I know.
yeah. God. Well, I remember I also remember watching this, it seemed like they painted the Eris journey as one of both struggle and triumph. Like there was a little bit of a struggle bonding, but y'all ended up winning, spoiler alert. And so it ended up being all worth it. That was kind of how they made it seem, in my opinion. Do you think
Yeah,
that was it a fair portrayal? Was it accurate?
yeah, yeah, especially after the first song. Yeah, the first
Oh,
challenge
okay.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah, like going from challenge 1 where we're like we didn't really have much chemistry. Like it was me. Yeah, it was like we didn't really have much chemistry on the first song because we just were just getting into it and we were
Yeah.
really scared. We were so scared.
What
I
were
was
you
nervous
scared of?
just like going first,
Oh, okay.
we went first, like, we're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. One take, one recording take. I like try not to mess up. It was just a lot of
Mm,
pressure because um we were on first and I don't know, I like just wasn't used to it.
yeah. But you worked through that. What do you think was the secret to building a bond and building one so well that you walked away winners?
We all just kind of like comfort each other and just kind of came up with a we had a group talk, had team
Hmm.
plans, and um we all were just like having fun. We started to have more fun with each other. Just like
Yeah.
Like Casey was really funny. They
I
made
wish
me
we saw
laugh.
more of that. I wish we like I
I
feel like I
know the
you only get
vlogs.
that
I
right. You only
know
get that from the vlogs that you guys have done. And I wish I don't know, Jared, if you're listening, take a note. Like a little
it
bit more of
wasn't
the fun.
Jared that
Okay.
edited every. Yeah, Jared was just the host, and there was a whole production team. But yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
production team for next season, a little bit more fun, please. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you could see like how silly um Greystone was, and but then
Oh
they
yeah.
had the last challenge was the cover challenge is what everyone struggled at. Like
Really?
challenge 4 was like the hardest because it was the last one before going home.
Okay.
We were so dead. Like everyone lost their mind.
Well, you looked shocked when Eris was announced the winner. Were all of you
Yeah,
genuinely that surprised? You weren't expecting to win?
that we were shocked. we Because we like were like the internet thinks we're all crybabies.
Yeah. That's okay. I would have been surprised. I don't know how I would react if I was the
I was
winner.
pretty surprised. I know that the internet thinks we're crybabies and we get the most crap. We get the most hate too. I know.
No. You guys,
Yeah.
you put your hearts out there. You did. Anybody watching could see
Yeah,
that.
I know. The comment section, I don't think I should read it anymore because I saw some pretty horrible comments and it was like, yeah, I don't think I should read the when I was reading the comments, it was so bad. I was like, that's enough internet for today. So
Do you feel like you're used to that though, just because you have been making content for a minute now?
well, the thing is, the Jared Dines fans, like these people are like prog musicians that
Of
all love
course. Yeah.
Tool, really, really hard things, the hardest of the hard to play. And like this isn't called Metal Mansion. This is Musician Mansion. What if your challenge was to write a country song?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And also, don't compare me to Danny Carey. Don't
right.
anybody be compared to
Yeah.
Danny Carey. My God.
Yeah, I'm not Danny. I mean, it
We're
would kind of be boring if everyone sounded like Danny Carey. So, like,
yeah. Or if everybody sounded like everybody else.
I know, like, hey, it gives me kind of some hope. Like, the Beatles songs are pretty easy to play on drums, and
Yeah. What do you
like,
do to make your drumming style your signature style?
um, just like, it's a good question. Like, I learned a lot of how to play a lot of songs by my favorite bands, like Nirvana style. Dave Grohl's drumming is
Hmm.
he inspires me a lot. Just like learning how to play songs and parts other drummers write, and then just jamming with others in a room. Like it's a skill to develop. Just like I've been in bands for a while, but at first when you're drumming and you don't know how to part right, you're like, what do I do? Because like
Mm,
you're just kind of used to learning the do like backbeats, beats, snare, two and four. You're just used to like you don't really know much because it's skill to part right. So what I did was just kind of go sit in a room with my bandmates and my in the earlier days, we just
Mhm.
jam and just come up with stuff we like, sounds good. And then in order for me to do that, I basically just listen to a bunch of music and study it and
Yeah.
study what I like, what I don't like, just and then I also know music theory as well, so that helps. Just really, I like to follow the bass line usually. Yeah,
Yeah.
bass line helps. Just like
Makes
the bass
sense.
drums, yeah,
Makes
rhythms,
sense.
drum bass, yeah.
Rhythm
That
section. Let's go.
that helps. But then you get some really creative drummers like that come up with things that no one has ever done before. Like, how'd you do that? Like, for example, hot for teacher drum part. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's so unique.
What? Very unique. And we love
Yeah,
it.
so unique. So you get that. It's like really random. I don't know who else could have thought of that. So and then you just get the same beats over and over and over again. And then you got John Bonham who creates the bottom triplets that everyone kind of does when they solo.
Hmm.
Yeah, you get those people that just start it all. But yeah, it really just varies. I like to keep things simple usually and not overcomplicate and clash because it just
Yeah.
sounds messy. Especially if you're trying to make a catchy, good song. Um, it just depends. Like I don't want to be clashing on on a guitar solo. I want the
No.
guitars to shine. So I'll just keep it simple, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's to the way that, and I'm not a musician, but the way that I imagine it is that you, the rhythm section, drums, bass, y'all are just keeping momentum. And that's
Yeah.
like that's the most important part, period. And then if somebody wants to do a little something extra in the meantime, great. But really the most important part is just keeping the tempo, keeping things moving.
Oh yeah.
And
Just
as
keep
long
it
as you can do that, you're
moving.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep it moving, be really solid, um, very tight, rhythmically aligned.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, you alluded to this a little bit earlier, and this is good news to my ears, but there is new Eris on the way. That's one new exciting thing that we can possibly look forward to. In general, what's next? What can we look forward to?
Like for
For
Eris or
you,
oh for
for
me.
all the above, all the above.
Oh,
You, Eris, anything.
well, we're gonna gradually release all the music we recorded. It just our producer and engineer there's been like some he was sick and so we had to
Yeah.
like go back and forth with making sure the exact sound levels we wanted were right because like we want a specific sound like vocals a certain level, guitars a certain level. So then once you get those presets right, then it's easier to get the other songs mixed and mastered. So the Never Friends is the first song that's going to be dropped, and that was the first song we wrote. And then The Unknown, then our song with Vince, What the Funk, and
Hmm.
then Respect, yeah. They're all recorded with just mixing, mixing and just making sure we like the levels, and then you'll see us post some playthroughs. Um, yeah, it's gonna be fun. And then me, I've just been you can catch me I've been live streaming a lot. I've been TikTok live a lot. I know some people you deleted TikTok, but if you
It's
find a way,
I know. I
if
got you.
you
Nobody
yeah,
knows what's going on with TikTok. If somebody can tell us what's really going on with TikTok, please say something.
I know, because like I've been really successful live streaming on TikTok Live, and I just kind of have fun, talk to people. I'm kind of just I'm quite unhinged on live, not gonna really fun. I don't know. It's funny. There's some, but I my mods keep the chat nice and respectful.
There we go. Shout
I
out to the
know.
mods.
I gotta. God bless my mods. They're awesome. Yeah, yeah. There's some yeah. Like, but sometimes like for some reason TikTok's algorithm really pushes my live streams really well. I don't know what it is. So,
Just enjoy
but
it.
yeah,
Just enjoy it.
I just have fun and they like hearing me play all kinds of music, mostly like rock and metal, and
Mhm.
they really like hearing me play Rush, and I try my best to
Oh,
get Rush down. It's not
um,
100% perfect, you know, because it's like
it's
if I
hard.
yeah, it's a
I've
hard
se-
it's
I've
hard.
seen Rush. I've seen Rush live twice
Hmm.
before Neil passed,
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is the largest drum kit I've ever seen
yeah,
in the world. Number one. Number two, I don't know how he manages this. Number three, how does he do this at his age? Number four, is he gonna like become an octopus and spontaneously grow arms?
yeah.
How else is this going to how else is he going to accomplish this? It is insane. And I am so glad that I got to see that before he passed. Like, what a
I
treat.
know. I'm lucky. I wish I did, like, because they retired in 2015 or something. They
Pretty much.
retired. Yeah, they
Yeah.
retired
I think they
pretty.
pretty much
Yeah.
retired when he passed, really.
Yeah, they
And
retired, but they didn't want to tell the press that he had cancer.
yeah,
They kept it private. And I was like, darn, he died when it was 2020. And I was like, really, it was
yeah.
sad.
That should have been our
But
first clue that 2020 was going to be a shitty year. That should have been the first clue.
I know, right?
Well, Alexa, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for your time. I can't wait for what's next.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Val. It was so fun.